Okay, in assignment AF2 says the usual instructions. Number 1 says all tickets for a concert are the same price. Chloe and Ruben pay £78 altogether for some tickets. Chloe pays £32.50 for 5. How many tickets does Ruben buy? So we're going to use the £32.50 for 5 tickets. We can work out the price of 1 ticket from that. £32.50 for 5. So from that, we can say that 1 ticket will cost total £32.50 divided by 5. And if we work that out, 5 into 32 goes 6, remainder 2, 5 into 25 goes 5, so it's £6.50 for 1 ticket. So now we can work out Ruben, or the £78 maybe altogether. We know that Chloe paid £32.50, so Ruben, we said, how much does he pay? Total is 78, minus the amount that Chloe paid, £32.50, leaves you with £45.50, I think. So Ruben pays £45.50, and we know that each ticket costs £6.50, so the number of tickets that Ruben buys will equal the total amount he pays, £45.50, divided by £6.50, the price of 1 ticket. You can work this out different ways. I think I'll multiply everything by 100, makes everything easier to get rid of the decimals. 4550, since it's non-calculator, we can't use a calculator. So we get that, then we can cancel by 10, we can also cancel by 5. 5 into 45 goes 9, and then 1. So 9, 1 over 5 into 65 goes 1, remainder 1, 5 into 15 goes 3, so it's 91 over 13. Now, we haven't got a calculator, so we've got to try and do this by hand. 5 times 13 is easy to work out. 5 times 13 is 65. So that's not enough. Another 13 onto that will make 78. That's not enough. I want 91. But if I add another 13, I get 91. So it's 5, 6, 7. 7 tickets for Ruben. Question 2. Here is the graph of y equals 7 minus x for values of x from 0 to 7. On the same grid, draw the graph of y equals x plus 1 for values of x from 0 to 7. So y equals x plus 1. Let's make a few numbers in our table. Let's say if x is 0, 1, 2, maybe jump across to 6, like that. So what are the corresponding values of y for that equation? X plus 1, so 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 6 plus 1 is 7. So we've got 0, 1, I can mark that point 0, 1. The next point on the table is 1, 2. The next one is 2, 3. And the last one in my table is 6, 7. And if you've done it correctly, they should make a nice straight line. So I draw, using my ruler, I get a straight line through those points. Then we move on to the next part of the question. Use the graphs to solve the simultaneous equations y equals 7 minus x and y equals x plus 1. So y equals x plus 1 is the graph I've just drawn. So those are the two lines that represent those two equations. Simultaneous basically means the point that lies on both, so the intersection of the two lines. So here we're going to have the coordinates is 3 and 4, that's all. Number 3, the table shows sale of food and drink, 3 days. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 22, 12, 22, 28, 30, 24. John uses this information to draw a bar chart. So here we have the sales and the 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So write down 3 different mistakes that John has made. So we have to look at it again. First day, Tuesday, 22 and 12. Let's see if he's done that correctly. 22 for food, yep. And then 12 more makes 34 in total. That's correct, good. Second one should be 22 for food and 28 for drink. So the first bar is 22, but then 28 for the drink should take him up to 50. So that we should have a bar going up all the way to 50. And we don't. So that's one of his mistakes. We can say that on Wednesday, the drink bar should be 28 units, not 6. He only made it 6. So let's go on to find another error. Let's check the last day, Thursday, where he should be 30 for the food and 24 for the drink. When we look at what he's done, he's got 24 for the first one, the food, and 30 for the drink, so he's switched them around. He should have had 30 for the food, which means he should have ended there, 30, and the other one would have been the 24. So you can see that the drink should have been there, like that. So for Thursday, we can say and so now we look, that's covered the 3 days. What else is wrong with this bar chart? We don't have a key. He hasn't told us which shading represents which food or drink, so there needs to be a key. So that we know that that one represents food, and the one which is grey shaded, can't really shade grey very easily here, let's say that, there is for drink, and that is our key. So there's no key to say which is food and which is drink. Every bar chart where you've got more than one kind of shading should have a key. Number 4, Eunice wants to buy a camera for 320. She's already saved 84. Each week her pay is 70 and she saves 40% of her pay. How many more weeks must she save? So first of all, the price is 320 and she's already saved 84. So let's subtract the 84 to see how much she still needs to save. And if you subtract that from there, you'll get 236. So she still needs to save £236 to be saved. And how much does she save? She saves 40% of 70. So 40% of £70. You work that out. There's 10 cancels there, another 10 cancels there. 4 times 7 is £28. So she saves £28 every week. So how many weeks will it need to get 236? Well, we'll just see how many 28s are there in 236. 236 divided by 28. We don't have a calculator, so I have to do it by hand. I can divide by 2. I get 118 over 14. I can divide by 2 again. I get 59 over 7. I can't divide by anything else. So 7 into 59 goes 8, 56, and 3/7. So 8 and 3/7 weeks she needs to save more. So she can't save 8 and 3/7. She has to save for 9 more weeks. Question 5a. P and Q are whole numbers. P is greater than 50, Q is less than 30. What is the smallest value of P minus Q? Whole numbers is important. So whole numbers bigger than 50 are 51, 52, and so on. Whole numbers less than 30, they can start from 1, but they could go up as far as 29 is the biggest one you can have. So any number before and including 29. So ... there, going up to 29. So the smallest value of P minus Q is given by the smallest value of P, which is 51, and actually take away the largest value of Q. If you take a large amount away, you're left with a small result. So that comes to 22. Move on to part B. A and B are whole numbers again. A is less than or equal to 50. So in this case, we can go up 47, 48, 49, and we can include 50 because A can be equal to 50. That equal sign is important there. B is less than 30, so once again, going up, like we said before, 27, 28, 29, and we stop at 29 because it cannot be equal to 30. Work out the largest value of A plus B. So if you're adding two numbers, we just take the largest value of each one, 50 for A and 29 for B, and we get 79. Number 6, part A. Could do this by working in standard form, perhaps. That might be straightforward. We've got 3.4. Now, 0.0002, the point, moving it from 2 is moved 4 places, so it's 2 times 10 to the negative 4, because the point is moved to the left. So here, 2 times 3.4 is 6.8, times 10 to the negative 4. But I suppose we should give it in normal form, not standard form, but usual way of numbers. So we count the point 4 places to the left. And if I do that, you'll see that 6.8 becomes 0.00068. You can see I've moved the point 4 places to the left. And we move on to part B. 2.4 times 10 to the negative 3 is an ordinary number. So here you can see that negative 3 means move the point 3 places to the left. So 2, 4, imagine the point was there, goes 1, 2, so I'll put a 0 there, and then again 3, so I'll put another 0, and we put the 0 in front of the point. 1, 2, 3. Right, what's 7,900,000 in standard form? So it's 7.9, definitely, times, now how many places has the point moved? From there, we'd have to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 10 to the power, in this case, positive 6, because it's a number bigger than 10. Diagram shows information about the scores of 5B. Student is chosen at random from class 5B. Work out the probability that the student's score was the median for the class. So for this, we have to look at each score and see how, well, first of all, I suppose I should think, what is a median? And the median is equal to the middle score when they've all been arranged in order. So we have to look at all the scores of all the students. So 4 students scored 4 points, had a score of 4 each. Four students had a score of 4 each. Now what about the 5s? Score of 5, there were 5 students who scored 5 each. So therefore we're going to have 5 lots of 5. So I can type in the 5 5s. Similarly, there are score of 6 was got by 6 students, so I can put 6 6s. Then the score of 7 was obtained by 7 students, if I look across there. And finally, a score of 8 was obtained by 7 students. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's all of the student scores there in order from lowest to highest. I've got to find the middle score. How many are there altogether, first of all? That's the first question you have to ask yourself. So I just count them. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 6 is 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 29 scores. So think of 29. There are 14 to the left and 14 to the right, and there is one score in the middle, and that is my median score, the one in the middle there. So I can see that it's the 15th score, so I need to count up to the 15th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15th. So that is the 15th score there. So the 15th score is 6, so the median is 6. But that's not the answer. You have to read the question. Work out the probability that the student score was a median. So the probability of getting a 6, well, you've got 6 chances there. So there's 6 possibilities, out of a total of 29. Six over 29. Part B. Diagram shows information about another class, 5C. And now what does the question ask? Is chosen at random. Work out the probability that the student's score was the mode for the class. Mode, what does mode mean? The most common score. So if we look back to the graph of 5C, class 5C, the score of 3 only was obtained by 2 students, 3, 4 students got 6, 5 students got a 7, but 9 students got a score of 8. So 8 is by far the most common score. 8, okay? It's obtained by many students. So the mode is 8. So the probability of getting an 8, how many of them obtained an 8? There were 9 of them. So there's 9 who got the mode. But how many were there altogether? Got 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 plus 5 is 18. 18 plus 9 is 27. So the probability of getting a score of 8, there are 9 possibilities. Frequency is 9 there, out of 27, which comes to 1/3. Number 8, Laura is trying to work out 2 values of p for which p plus 2p cubed equals -3. Her values are 1 and -1. Are her values correct? Let's try. First of all, for the first one, she said was 1. So if I put 1 into that equation, I get 1 plus 2 times 1 cubed. 1 plus 2 times 1 cubed is 1. 2 times 1 is 2, so 1 plus 2 will come to 3. Is it equal to -3? No, so it's wrong. If we check the other solution of Laura, -1, put -1 for p, we get -1 plus 2 times p cubed. 2 times p, which is -1 cubed. Now here we've got -1 plus, now -1 cubed is -1 times -1 times -1, which is -1, times 2 is -2. And -1 and -2 equals -3. So that one is a correct solution because it does give -3. But are her values correct? We have to say her values are not correct. One is correct and one is wrong. So in general, her values are not correct. Number 9, diagram shows a quarter circle, radius 4. Work out the area. That's all, straightforward. You have to know that the area of a circle is pi r squared. So the area of a quarter circle would be a quarter pi r squared. What do we know? We know that the radius, let's write it, a quarter times pi times the radius squared. So the radius is 4. We can see from the diagram that the radius is 4. From the center to the circumference is 4. So it's 4 squared. 4 squared is 16. So we've got a quarter times pi times 16. Which gives us 4. So the answer we've got is 4 pi. We can write it straight in the answer there. Question 10. Work out 2 4/5 times 1 2/3. Give your answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. So we've got, let's change each of these mixed numbers into a vulgar fraction, as they call it, by multiplying the denominator with 2. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus 4 is 14 over 5, times the second fraction, do the same thing. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5, over the denominator there, which is 3. So when we're multiplying fractions, we can see here, this one cancels with this one. So I'm left with 14 over 3. Which I can convert back into a mixed number. 3 into 14 goes 4 times, is 12, and remainder 2. So I have to leave it there, because nothing else cancels. So here, solve 4x minus 3 is greater than x minus 1. So I can take 3 to both sides, add 3 to both sides. I get x minus 1 plus 3 on the right. Or in other words, 4x is greater than x plus 2. Now I can subtract x from both sides. 4x minus x. Sorry, greater than 2. So 3x is greater than 2. Or in other words, x divided by 3 on both sides, x is greater than 2/3. We move on to number 12, where it says that the nth term of a sequence is 2n minus 3. And the nth term of a different sequence is 3n plus 2. Work out 3 numbers that are in both sequences between 20 and 40. So probably the best way to do this is try and see some of the numbers that belong to the first sequence. Maybe if I take, starting with, if I put n equal to 1, I get 2 minus 3, which is minus 1. N is 2, I get 4 minus 3 is 1. 3, I get 6 minus 3 is 3. And so on. I could carry on working them out. 8 minus 3 is 5. 10 is 5. I get 10 minus 3, which is 7. Keep going. So on, as I say, they're just going up as the odd numbers. So then you've got 19, 21, 23, 27, sorry, 25, 27, 29. So keep going, 31, 33, 35, 37, 39. So there's lots of them. And in the second, so yeah, I can stop at 39 because it says between 20 and 40. Second sequence, 3n plus 2. So if n is 1, we get 3 plus 2 is 5. And n is 2, I get 6 plus 2, which is 8. If n is 3, I get 9 plus 2 is 11. I'm going up by 3 each time, so you can see the next one will be 14, then 17, because I'm going up by 3 every time. 17, 20, 23. It's quicker to do it this way, just adding 3 each time. 26, 29, 32, 35, 38. And that's the last one before 40. So now, work out the 3 numbers that are in both sequences and between 20 and 40. So, let's see. First one I can find is 23. It's in both of the sequences. Next one, 29, is in both sequences. And the last one is 35, which is in both of the sequences. So those are my 3 answers, my 3 numbers, 23, 29, and 35. Number 13, white paint costs £3 a litre. Red paint is £3.40 a litre. White paint and red paint are mixed in a ratio of 2 to 3. Work out the cost of 16 litres of the mixture. So, 2 litres of white paint will cost £3 per litre, so it's 2 litres, so it will be £6. And the 3 litres of the red paint, because I need to mix 2 and 3 together. 3 litres of red cost, it's going to be 3 times 340 per litre, so 340 times 3 comes to £10.20. So that's £10.20. So these are mixed together, so we add the 2 lots together and get 5 litres of mixture. Cost how much? Add the 2 together there, you get £16.20. That's the price of 5 litres of mixture. So from that I can get 1 litre of the mixture. Costs how much? £16.20 for the 5 litres. Divide by the 5 litres. So £16.20 total price for 5 litres. Divide by 5. 5 into 16 goes 3. Remainder 1. 5 into 12 goes 2. Remainder 2. 5 into 20 goes 4. So it's £3.24 per litre. And then it says work out the cost of 16 litres. So 16 litres will cost how much? Be £3.24 times 16. And you can do that by hand. It's not too bad. 16 times 4 is 64, carry 6. 16 times 2 is 32, is 38, carry 3. 16 times 3 is 48, 51. You can do it your own way, but we end up with the same answer, £51.84. Move on to question 14. Circle the value of cos A. So you have to know the different ratios. Socatur is the way I learned it when I was young. Sine, cosine, and tangent. And we see cosine of this angle depends on the hypotenuse. It's the longest side. That is the side opposite the angle A, and that side is the adjacent. So cosine of A is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So we have the adjacent, which is 3, but what is the hypotenuse? Well, we have to use Pythagoras there. And according to Pythagoras, h squared will equal 4 squared plus 3 squared, because it's a right angled triangle, comes to 25, so h is the square root of 25, which is 5. So if I know that h is 5, I can now work out my cosine. Cosine of angle A will equal the adjacent, which is 3, divided by the hypotenuse, which is this long side, which I've just worked out is 5. So 3/5 is my answer, but 3/5 as a decimal is 0.6, so there's my answer. Part B, similar triangle has hypotenuse 2 meters. Work out the value of A. So it's important to recognize that the word similar means that it's the same angle. So we still know that the cosine of this angle is 0.6. So cosine of A equals 0.6. And that equals the adjacent, which I don't know, in the second case is x, divided by the hypotenuse of 2. We're working in meters. So solving that equation, x equals 2 times 0.6, which is 1.2. I'll write it down here. 1.2 meters for x. And finally, question 15. ABCD is a square. CDEF is a square. And DEGH is a rectangle. And then make an L shape altogether. Show that the perimeter is 8x minus 10. So we have to go all the way around the edge. I've got x plus 1 there. Then got to add all these bits. That's x minus 2 because it's a square. That's also x minus 2, that little bit. From C to F is also x minus 2 because we are told that it's a square. So that's x minus 2. And then this side is equal to the opposite side of the rectangle, x plus 1. And finally, that side is the same as the one at that end, x minus 2. So we've got all the sides now of the L shape, and we can write down the perimeter. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lots of x minus 2, plus 2 lots of x plus 1. Now I can simplify this. And if we bring like terms together, we get 8x and minus 12 plus 2 is minus 10, which is exactly the expression that we were asked to show. So we've got it. Show that the total area of the L shape is given by that expression, 3x minus 2x minus 1. So we have to look at the shape and try and work out the area. Looking at these things here, this square, ABCD, is x minus 2 squared. I'll call that P, alright. And that square Q, and this rectangle R. So area of angle of square P. Each side is x minus 2, so it will be x minus 2 times x minus 2. We look at it there. And area of Q will also be x minus 2 times x minus 2. And the area of R will be x plus 1 times x minus 2. Okay, so now we can get rid of all these brackets and try and bring things together. So the area equals x squared minus 4x plus 4. That's the first expression. Plus, now q is going to be exactly the same. And then r is going to be x times x is x squared. And minus 2x plus 1x is minus x. And 1 times minus 2 is minus 2. Now bring all our like terms together. X squared and x squared and x squared is 3x squared. Minus 4x minus 8x minus 9x. Now we look at the constants. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. And if I look at this expression, 3 is common throughout there, so I can take a factor of 3 outside, and I'm left with x squared minus 3x plus 2 inside the bracket. But once again, that expression in the bracket can be factorized if we look carefully. So write it as 2 brackets multiplied together. To get x squared, I've got to have x and x, so x in the first bracket, x in the second bracket. And to get positive 2, I can only have 2 and 1 with negative signs in front, and that gives me the expression I wanted, and it's also the one which I was asked to show at the beginning of the question there.